World Blood Donor Day is an event celebrated annually to raise awareness of the need for safe blood and blood products, and to also thank voluntary unpaid blood donors for their life-saving donations. A blood service that gives patients access to safe blood and blood products in sufficient quantity is a key component of an effective health system. To this end, the Lagos State Ministry of Health and Lagos State Blood Transfusion Service held a symposium and scientific conference to intensify awareness campaign on blood donation, safe blood transfusion practice.
This year's theme is Give Blood, Give Plasma, Share Life and Share Often. And it captures the profound impact that every single donor can have on individuals, on families, and on the community, showcasing their essence of selflessness that touch and transform people's lives. The act of giving blood is not merely an altruistic deed. It is an act of solidarity, compassion, humanity that transcends between borders, cultures, and backgrounds. When you give blood, you offer the gift of life indeed, and extend a lifeline to those who are battling illnesses, who are facing challenging medical conditions, who have unforeseen emergencies, and who have to go through complex surgical procedures. I want you to know that every drop you have given in the past, every drop you are giving today, and every drop you are going to give in future will make a great difference.
The event, which took place on Wednesday, 14th of June 2023 at the Adeyemi Gbero Auditorium, Alausa Ikeja, had the theme Give Blood, Give Plasma, Share Life, Share Often.
The theme for this year's World Blood Donation Day, Give Blood, Give Plasma, Share Life, Share Often, it resonates deeply within our hearts. It emphasizes the vital role that voluntary blood donations play in not only saving lives, but also enhancing solidarity within our communities. Each blood donation is a symbol of compassion, kindness, and humanity. It is a testament to our shared commitment to serve and support one another.
Something that we should stress here, that the very early life period is a very critical period, because at a time we can have the whole blood being changed to make sure that a child can live. Now, we have accidents all over, and when you lose blood during an accident, it can be so critical that it has to be replaced so that life can continue. What we have to do is to create more awareness so that people will donate.
Giving his address, Dr. Olusegun Boye, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, who also represented the Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, appreciated the effort of the blood donors who voluntarily helped to save lives. He further mentioned that there are ongoing plans by the Lagos State government to subsidize the high cost of screening of blood products to reduce the costs incurred by healthcare providers, health facilities operators, and members of the public during blood transfusion process.
The problem is now the cost of preparing 1 pint of blood to give to someone, including the grouping and cross-matching that has to be done before it can be transfused to anyone, is a little too high for the public to bear. So what is happening currently is that the people who are screening the blood and the hospitals that are transfusing the blood are bearing the cost, the extra cost, and they're complaining now about that extra cost. So the blood transfusion service is working on finding a way to get government to pay that difference so that the heavier cost is not transferred to the patient, and that the healthcare provider that is grouping and cross-matching the blood also doesn't keep losing money for each pint of blood that they have to transfuse. So that's what we're working on what a fair amount is for the government to bear, and then to ensure that blood is still fully available and for people that require blood transfusions, and as and when that they need it.
The keynote lecture on the theme was given by Professor Adedoyin Dosunmu, a consultant hematologist. He spoke extensively on the history of blood transfusion, compatibility tests of donors and recipients, blood preservation with citrates, storage solutions, and advantages of blood donation to donors.
We have more than 30 blood group systems and over 300 antigens to consider. So in the blood bank, we cannot do all these blood group systems. We have to do ABO blood group and rhesus blood group. Then the next step is to do a cross-match between the red cell of the donor with the serum of the recipient to see if there are any other reaction to anything. But improvement on that one came later with antibody screening of donors and recipients. And that one, as initially with just grouping and cross-matching, it gives us time. It delays the period we give the blood to 1 to 2 hours. But with antibody screening of the recipients and donors, you can actually do a little bit of abbreviated cross-match, which will make you to be able to deliver this blood to the recipient in less than 10 minutes.
It must be healthy to get to donate blood. And then calcium gluconate, because our stored blood is usually stored with citrate, and this citrate usually binds to the calcium in the blood after it has been transfused. So there's always a need to also give calcium gluconate after you've transfused, I think about 4 pints of blood or so. So sometimes not just the blood as you see it is what is needed. There's a need to also produce, and also in obstetric care, we have what we call HELP syndrome in those women with severe preeclampsia, where they have low platelets. So it's very important that they also get platelets transfused. So it's not just the blood as we look at it that is needed, but there's also a need to increase our production of blood products such as the plasma and the calcium gluconate.
To lighten the mood, guests in the auditorium witnessed a dance presentation. A panel session was also set to discuss plasma as the frontier of blood transfusion services.
Advice given by the World Health Organization, where it's been studied that if 2% of the population can be recruited to be voluntary donors, we would meet the blood donation needs of every country of the world, generally less of 2% of the world per country too. So that we should encourage people to see the value of blood and blood products in the health sector, where we practice and we see that patients' disease processes require that patients need to survive with blood transfusion. So that's the advice I'll give, that we need to continue to encourage people or recruit people in that manner to be voluntary donors.
Officials of LSBTS, World Health Organization, Nigerian Red Cross Society, Association of Nigerian Medical Private Practitioners, and some blood donors held an awareness walk around the Lagos State Government Secretariat.